wake up in the morning feeling like P.
Hey,
Diddy.
what up,
Grab
girl?
my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit this city.
Let's go.
Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. 'Cause when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure on our toes, toes. Trying on all our clothes, clothes. Boys blowing up our phones, phones. Drop top and playing our favorite CDs. Pulling up to the parties. Trying to get a little bit tipsy. Don't stop, make it pop. DJ blow my speakers up tonight. I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop now. Don't stop, make it pop. DJ blow my speakers up tonight. I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop now.
Oh, such a hard day at work. I think I'm gonna take a walk. La 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 la. Ah! Don't.
Wait! This is the perfect time for math! Oh boy, math time. Hey, these are perpendicular and parallel lines, according to the rules.
I will show you this better with a graph using the points 0, 3, 1, 2, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and negative 3. Before we get into this crazy math experience, we need to understand what parallel and perpendicular lines are. Parallel lines are when the slopes are the same, and lines are perpendicular when you multiply both of the slopes and they equal, you guessed it, negative 1. Now I'll explain this crazy phenomenon of perpendicularness and parallelness using the points that I said before. But knowing you kids, you probably forgot. So we will use these numbers, 0, 3, and the points 1, 2, and we'll use the one from another line, which is 1, 2, negative 2, negative 1, and from the last one, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and negative 3. Now what we'll need to do is find the slope using these 2 points, 0, 3, and 1, 2. And in order to find the slope, we will need this formula. And the formula is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Now we will need to plug in the points into the formula. So your y2 is 2, your y1 is 3, your x2 is 1, and your x1 is 0. So 2 minus 3 over 1 minus 0 equals negative 1 over 1, which equals negative 1. So your slope is negative 1. Now that we have our slope, we will choose one set of points, which is 1 and 2. And now the craziness will continue, because now we will use a different formula, which is a point slope form formula, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now we will plug in the numbers and the slope, with your x1 being 1 and your y1 being 2, and your slope, of course, being negative 1. So when you plug them in, you'll get y minus 2 equals negative 1 times x minus 1. And that simplified down to be y minus 2 equals negative x plus 1, and your line will be y equals negative x plus 3. And that is what the rail would be if it were graphed on a graph. Ding! Dude, this math thing is so boring. It's not even crazy. Calm it down, youngster, because the craziness is about to continue. This time we will use completely different points. You heard me. Completely different points, which will be 1, 2, and your other points will be -2, -1. And with these points, we will use them to find a new slope. I know, I can hardly contain myself. Now, with these new points, you will have to do things differently. So your y2 is -1, your y1 is 2, your x2 is -2, and your y1 is 1. So -1 minus 2 over -2 minus 1 equals -3 over -3, which equals 1. So your new slope is 1. Now that you have your new slope, you will have to use the point-slope formula again to use so you can find another new line. So with your new slope and your new point, you're going to look for a new line. So with your slope of 1, your points are 1 and 2. Your 1 is your x1 and your 2 is your y2. Once you plug in your points and your slope, you will get y minus 2 equals 1 times x minus 1, and that will become y minus 2 equals x minus 1, and your new line will be y equals x plus 1. Now, using the new lines that we have, I will explain to you perpendicularness. I know, it'll be crazy. So the first line that we have is -x plus 3, and the other line that we have is y equals x plus 1. So the slope of the first line is -1, and the slope of the other line is just 1. And when you multiply them together, you'll get -1. That means they are perpendicular. I know you kids are excited and want to do this many more times, but we only have one set of points left. So the last points that we're going to use are -2 and -1, and the last points are going to be 0 and -3. Ay, caramba, dude, this is like taking forever. I thought I'd be done hours ago. I could be skateboarding or something. Sorry, young boy, but no skateboarding for today. It's math time, and everybody loves math. But anyways, let's use these last points to figure out the slope. So your points are -2, -1, and your other point is 0 and -3. With x1 being your -2, y1 being your -1, x2 being your 0, and y2 being -3. So once you plug it into the formula, you'll get -3 minus a -1 over 0 minus a -2, which equals -2 over 2, which equals -1, with your slope being -1. Now let's plug it into this crazy bananas of a point-slope formula, with your slope being -1 and your points being -2 and -1. Now, once you plug in your slope and your point into the formula, you will get y minus a -1 equals -1 times an x minus a -2, and that simplified down to is y plus 1 equals -x minus 2. And once you move that crazy one over, you'll get y equals -x minus 3. And now this is the fun part where I get to show you perpendicular and parallel lines. Woo! So, using the lines that we just used, y equals -x minus 3, and the other line, y equals x plus 1, you can see that the slopes, once you multiply them together, they will equal -1. So those two lines are perpendicular. And using the other lines, y equals -x minus 3, and y equals -x plus 3, you can see that the slopes are exactly the same. I know, it's bananas. So they are parallel. Now I'm done with my lesson. I hope you guys had a crazy time, but I did use that word a lot. So maybe you guys had a parallelly, ridiculously, perpendicularly bananas time. See you guys next time.
That's great. Let's have another lesson.